Greetings, welcome, and good day. You are now tuned into the 25th episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. I'm so happy you could make it to another chapter of this show. This week we're joined by Coast Guard veteran Dr. Cynthia Marie Morris. Dr. Morris enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard in 1977 after leaving college as a pre-med major. She served 20 years and received several awards along the way, including one that granted her the opportunity to meet civil rights activist Rosa Parks. Service in the U.S. Coast Guard proved to be one uphill battle after another, but Dr. Morris is a fighter. Not only did she learn to speak up for herself, but she also made the time to help out other Coasties who were lower in rank than she was. She ended up becoming the advocate that she needed. She may be the first woman in her family to join the armed services, but she's far from the last, especially seeing as how most of her children either served in the military or have been in R.O.T.C. Dr. Morris does not believe in being idle. She's a retired corpsman turned human services technician who started her Coast Guard career as a rescue swimmer. She is also a licensed therapist and former social worker who is now pursuing a career as an electrician. Her latest choice of career path is the inspiration for the title, and that's why I'm naming this episode Dr. Buzz Lightyear. Friend!
Yes, hello.
Good evening, friend. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening to you, friend.
Thank you so much. And may I ask, how are you doing?
I am doing great.
You are doing great. Wonderful.
And it's an honor to be on the phone with you, friend. It's an honor to be doing my interview with you.
Look, you're the doctor, okay? I'm just a lowly yeoman, okay? So it's a pleasure for me to be on the phone with you. If you don't mind my asking, doctor, what is your name and what is your connection to the service?
My name is Dr. Cynthia Marie Morris, and my connection to the service, I joined the U.S. Coast Guard in 1977, retired in 1997. Yes, and I have 4 older brothers.
Okay.
Who were on active duty. 2 were in the Navy, 2 were in the Air Force. And I had uncles on my dad and mom's side who served in World War II.
Wow. Whoa.
And everybody had pictures in their service dress uniforms, but no war stories. None.
And it looks like your service, your service and your family service spanned over a lot of wartime periods, not just the world wars, but also you said you had some older brothers who were in the service. Were they in Vietnam?
Yes.
They were?
Yes, and I had one sister-in-law who served. She was in the Army.
Oh, my God.
But I gotta say, the subject was taboo in our family to talk to my sister-in-law about the service.
Really?
Yes, because that was unheard of, women being in the service.
But she was in the Army.
Yes, she was active in the Army. But she was not allowed to ask her questions about it.
What? Dr. Morris, does this make you the first woman in your family to join the service?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Come on. Trailblazer, I see you.
I am the first, but my parents was not excited.
Did you tell them when you were going to boot camp, Dr. Morris?
I did. But
all right.
I'll tell you how my story went, though.
Come on.
Seriously, I was in college, and I left college to join the Coast Guard, and they thought I had lost my mind.
What was your major, if you don't mind my asking?
Pre-med.
Yo! So you've just been smart forever. Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna receive that in Jesus' name. I'm gonna receive that.
Amen. Take it, because I'm giving it freely.
But all 6 of my children were also in R.O.T.C. in high school.
Ma'am, did you just say you had 6 kids?
Yes.
Dr. Morris.
Yes.
That is a war story. And if you read the questions, and I know you did, eventually I get to tell me a war story. You just told me you had 6 kids. That is a war story. You skipping ahead, doctor. We ain't that far yet.
But I was going to say my oldest son and my oldest daughter did join the Air Force.
Okay, right on.
Did a tour in the Air Force.
Okay.
And I had 3 girls also to participate participated in the Army R.O.T.C. in college, but they didn't stick with the college program. And then one signed up to join the Air Force as an officer out of graduate school.
Nice.
But when it was time for her to go in, some kind of way, the recruiters, they changed, they mixed up the paperwork. So she didn't officially go in, but we thought she was going to go in as an Air Force officer. And then the other daughter, after she graduated from college, she was going to go into the Army Officer Corps, but that didn't work out either.
Wow. I mean, but it sounds like you're about to have a flock of officers.
Exactly. You know, I don't know if I impact my nieces at all, but I've had 6 nieces also to join the service.
Jeez, this is a tradition in the Morris family.
Yeah, 5 for the Army, 1 for the Navy, and my Navy niece is a pilot for the Navy, and she also graduated from the Naval Academy.
Jeez, Dr. Morris.
But I never asked her impact. I never asked any of them that question. I don't know. If I had an impact, or if their mom said, well, if Aunt Winnie could do it, I'm sure you could go. I'm not sure. Because I never asked that question. But
you know what? You don't have to ask. You can lead by example and not even talk about it.
That is so true.
Yeah. They saw you doing it and they were like, if my auntie can do it, I can do it.
Yes. But,
my goodness. 6.
And I am the only Coast Guard person in the entire family.
And you're the only one that needs to be Coast Guard, Doctor. All right? You set the standard, all right? Absolutely. All right, look, you were in from 1977 to 1997. That's during the time of Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Did you have to serve in any capacity in that operation?
No, I did not.
Oh, congratulations, Doctor. Congratulations. Absolutely. Now, with 6 children under what? Did you have all of these while you were still active duty?
Yes.
I know that's right. You better make the government pay for them.
And I've had a lot of jokes, so you really should get out. I'm sure your entire paycheck goes to daycare and diaper.
It ain't none of their business where your paycheck goes.
The entire paycheck goes to the daycare, but it's okay. Until I have a little can on my desk saying, please give me a donation. Don't worry about it. But I used to get that a lot. And even being a corpsman, I would get the other joke. You don't know what stopped people from having children.
Wow.
I'm sure they got pills in the clinic. So I was getting all kind of crap. But
of course.
Okay. It was all good.
You know what? If somebody else had 6 children and they didn't look like you, it would have been fine. But it's you and it's a problem. So, yeah.
But that's the only time I was ever away from work. It's just when I had the babies. That's it.
I mean, that's a good excuse.
I was there. I was even in labor on one of my pregnancies.
Wait a minute, what?
I'm in active labor, but I'm a work all day. And when I leave work, I'm gonna go check in at the hospital.
Dr. Morris, I know you ain't just say that.
No, I'm serious. I am serious.
What?
Yes.
You let the Coast Guard have that much of your time?
Okay. So I wasn't uncomfortable, just knowing that I could just time the contractions, and I just knew the baby was coming because the mucus plug that came out at work. But I was
what the?
I was all good.
Dr. Morris.
I'm serious.
Oh, I've never even heard the term mucus plug. You're educating me.
That's right. Okay, I got you. That's right.
But don't explain it though. All right. All right. I'm blissfully ignorant as it stands right now.
I got you.
I love you, Dr. Morris. Oh my God. You worked a full day of work in labor and then went home and had your baby. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So was the Coast Guard your first choice in branch of service?
Yes. The Coast Guard was my first and only choice.
Okay. All right.
And my interest in the Coast Guard came about as my first summer job after the 11th grade. I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a little lady at our school who helped students who were not going to go to college find work. And I told her, I said, I am planning on going to college, so I'm not on your list, but I really, really need a summer job. So she sent me on an interview, and I got the job.
Nice,
so
nice.
It was at the 8th District in New Orleans.
Okay.
And my job was to file paperwork 40 hours a week. But I was excited. I got the job. I was excited. My family was excited that I was working for the Coast Guard. I was very excited. And I'm telling you, when they told me what I had to do, file all these stacks of paperwork, I guess that yeomen's had that needed to be filed away in storekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so excited to be working. And so my fingers was really raw from trying to file so quick and so much.
They really knew how to work a child.
Fast. And a lady pulled me aside and she said, hold on. You got to slow your pace down. Your fingers are burning because you're trying to do too much too quick. Just slow down, slow down. I say, I've always heard about hard work pays off. So I was just trying to do what I was always told to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I found my little pace. And it was exciting, though. I seen a lot of Coast Guard men and women in the uniform for the first time. It was amazing.
Okay.
It was truly amazing to see the women in uniform. I was excited. I loved it.
I'm excited hearing this.
It was terrific.
I'm amazed that the women's Coast Guard uniforms were so impressive in 1977 because
They were.
because I've seen them today.
Right.
All right, when you say New Orleans, do you mean Belle Chase?
Oh no,
No?
I was at Belle Chase before, but when I first worked in the summer, it was at the district. It
Okay.
was downtown. Yes.
Okay. I was
But
going to say,
after I joined the Coast Guard, I did have a duty station at Belle Chase. So I'm familiar with Belle Chase.
Okay.
Station. Yes.
Makes sense. I was stationed in New Orleans when I was in the Air Force Reserve. So that's how I know about Belle Chase. Like, it's a very small base, but it's like a joint reserve base now. Dr. Morris, how do you feel about your time in uniform? Does any particular time period stand out to you?
Yes, I loved my time.
Did you?
While in uniform. And I have a story for each duty station, but because it's time limited, I gotta just pick one.
Hey, it's your interview. You do what you want, all right?
So, no, but my most memorable was being stationed in Kodiak, Alaska.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, it was like experiencing a taste of heaven.
Wait a minute. Did you say Kodiak was a taste of heaven?
For me.
I've been stationed in Kodiak. If that's what heaven tastes like, I'll gladly go to hell.
No, let me tell you why I like Kodiak. Because Revelations 22:5 said there would be no more night.
Okay.
So being in Kodiak with the long days, that really, really made me think of God and made me think of the Bible. I was so excited to see the 18 hours of daylight. Until I did not shut my own house down. I mean, I was grateful. We reported in the summertime. The children, all of us was up past midnight playing and talking. And I mean, we was just moving around and I was tickled. I couldn't even tell nobody to go to bed. You understand? I was tickled.
No, it is easy to stay up late. Yeah.
Exactly. All of us were staying up late. And I'm telling you, as a parent, you know how you're supposed to put children to sleep. Mm-hmm. But I was just as excited about the sun being up at midnight. So I'm like, you know what? Keep playing. I'm tickled.
It'll be like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it looks like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's easy just to lose track of time. If you're talking to if you're like talking to somebody on your front porch and it's like after work, it's easy to lose track of time because the sun's not going anywhere.
Yes. So I'm just excited as a kid my own self. You understand?
I see.
So eventually I had to put up the darkened curtains.
Okay.
And put the aluminum foil to the window. And I had to tell my family, we got to work according to the clock, not according to the sun being up.
Because they could play all day if you let them.
Out of all the duty stations I had, the people attitudes towards each other were also amazing. It was the least amount of racism, the least amount of drama and foolishness that I had ever experienced in my Coast Guard experience.
Wow.
I'm telling you, just to talk about it right now, I would like to have a nonprofit just to send people to Alaska in the summertime, just to have a different view upon life. And if anybody's ever depressed, I would love to be the mentor to say, just go to Alaska for the summertime for 2 weeks. I mean, gee, I really would love to do that because it would really get you thinking different about a lot of stuff. Because, you know, when you're reading that Bible and you be like, is this really real? Could it be no night? And then to get to Alaska to see a long 18-hour day, I was like, dang, it's real. But if you've never seen it before, you don't realize that it really is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was shocked.
All right.
I was shocked. And the fish just jumping out the water. Oh my goodness. Just to go to the river and just see fish just leaping up in the air. That was amazing to me.
I guess it
My
is
mama
amazing.
was an avid fisherman. I said, I must get her up here. She have to come fish here to say she really have had a fishing experience. I love the laugh. I wanted to stay.
You know what? I'm glad you enjoyed your time there. I love this description. This is beautiful. It's making me rethink my memory. It doesn't change my memory. My memory is what it is.
I got you. But you know, that wasn't.
But it sounds nice. Yeah.
My husband wanted to go. He said he didn't really like it. I loved it.
Are you more outdoorsy than your husband? Because Alaska isn't. Okay.
I drive, and there was nowhere to drive, and he was just saying that being on this island is just too much for me. I don't like it. He'd drive for relaxation. He said it was really nowhere to drive. And
right.
Of course, the winters did come. And the winters were sad for a lot of Coasties and
right.
a lot of families. But by me being an extrovert, we did the winters okay because we always had something to do in our house with all the children. We always had something to do.
I love it.
That was my number one duty station. Number one.
Wow.
Number one.
All right. If anybody's interested in going to Alaska in their active duty, maybe listen to Dr. Morris's story. Don't listen to mine. She has a very positive outlook on this. I love it. Dr. Morris. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask you this. I am referring to you as Dr. Morris because I owe you that respect because you've earned it. Absolutely. What was your rank when you retired? And I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. When you originally joined the Coast Guard, were you enlisted? Were you officer? And if you... Okay, go ahead. You were enlisted?
And I only wanted to be a hospital corpsman.
Okay.
Only choice.
I like you. You had a mission. You knew you wanted the Coast Guard. You knew you wanted to be a corpsman. And before then, you knew you wanted to be pre-med. So like you stayed in the field that you set out to be in the whole time. You knew exactly what you wanted the whole time.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Morris, how do you think your experience could have been improved?
Absolutely, yes. And I'm going to tell you how I wish it could have been improved.
Okay.
I wish I could have learned to fight smarter.
Okay.
When I say fight smarter, get those regulations, pull them out, read them, know what they meant. Because I wanted to be promoted at each algebra interval when I entered the service. I had a little plan. Like I wanted to be a seaman in 6 months. Then I wanted to be a third class in the next 6 months. In the second class, I wrote it all out.
Yeah.
And I love the Coast Guard because you needed to pass the exam for your rating, right?
And
then take the service-wide and get a recommendation to be promoted.
Yes.
I said, wow, this is cool. What could go wrong with this? What could go wrong with that? I'm thinking like, wow, I just need 2 tests and a recommendation. This is foolproof. I got it.
Doctor, I almost see where this is going.
I'm telling you, I thought this was great. I'm going like, what could go wrong with this great combination? A lot could could go wrong and did go wrong for me.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I've always been a diligent worker.
I can tell.
And my motto was to do my job unto the Lord. Because my motto was, if I work pleasing to the Lord, who can see everything, my earthly supervisor will be sure to be pleased. And I meant that from my heart.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But regarding my recommendation, I would always hear I'm doing a fantastic job. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The whole time I'm working, I'm getting this attaboy, you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when it came down for the recommendation to be put in writing to take the service wide,
Mm-hmm.
I would get responses from A to Z why I wasn't quite ready
Mm-mm.
to move to the next grade level. You understand?
Yeah, those attaboys only happened when it didn't count.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to a senior African American enlisted person, command enlisted advisor, told him what was happening. Said I work really hard, and he always telling me I'm doing a good job. But when it's time for my recommendation for the service wide, I'm always told, not right now, not this cycle, maybe the next one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so the command enlisted advisor said, don't rock the boat. Just keep your head up and don't give up. But that really did dampen my spirit.
Wait, the black senior enlisted person told you to not rock the boat?
Right.
Wow.
He was saying that, it's their right to write the recommendation or not. It's not a given. They have, it's their option to put it in writing for you or not. And I said, I'm doing everything that's required for the next promotion. And if I need the recommendation and they know I need it, why would told that from me?
Right.
Why?
Right.
And then don't really truly have a real legitimate response. You understand?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was just saying, it's just a part of being in the service. And it's really nothing I could write a complaint about or do anything about. Just keep studying and keep getting ready and just keep.
This African American senior enlisted person sounds useless and maybe even a little worthless. He's giving you very mediocre advice.
Yeah, but that really did dampen my spirit because I felt like I should be able to take this up to the chain of command because you need to give me a real reason
right.
why can't I get my recommendation.
Right. Yes. If I'm doing this good of a job on a daily basis, if you're telling me I'm doing this good of a job verbally, put that put that on paper.
Yes.
Okay.
So
you were doing such a good job they wanted to throttle your career. Okay. Sounds about right.
Right.
You were doing too good. Like let's pump the brakes here. You're actually doing too good, Cynthia.
That was kind of heartbreaking, to be honest with you.
No, I know it.
I prayed about it, and I just said, Lord, let me just keep my chin up, and let me just keep on working. It'll come.
Mm-hmm.
If it's for me, it'll come. So I just took that attitude.
When did you get your doctorate?
Oh, I'll tell you that when we get to the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. My bad, Dr. Morris. My bad.
I'll tell you.
Let me do the right thing. All right. Dr. Morris, can you tell me about a time when you experienced something either good or bad that you know to be unique to you because you are a black woman?
Yes.
I'll bet you can. You just did.
I was put in for an award by one of the doctors in the clinic.
Okay.
And it was the NAACP Roy Wilkins Renowned Service Award.
Come on.
The doctor pulled me over to the side, and the doctor said, have you heard anything from the senior chief about your recommendation that I recommended you for? And I said, no. But I said, but I'll follow up with the senior chief. And when I caught up with my senior chief and I asked him about his endorsement on my recommendation, and I reminded him it was time sensitive, his response to me that it was a Coast Guard wide award, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he had a lot of things on his desk to address, and I probably won't get it anyway.
Wow.
Since the pool of applicants is so large, he said the doctor could just recommend you for next year.
Wow.
That was my chief's response to me. And I was taught to follow the chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
And being African American, being female, being from the South, I'm just telling you.
You were doing everything right.
I really be trying to follow these rules.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I respected the importance of the chain of command, and I tried to adhere to it to the best of my ability. I thanked my senior chief, and I left his office, and I did what I do best.
Okay.
I had to pray about the matter quickly.
All right.
What do I do? I said, a doctor just told me he nominated me for an award.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to go see my senior chief. That's following the chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get to my senior chief to get that kind of response, I had to put a smile on my face. I thanked my senior chief, left out his office. And then I started praying. Then I said, I need to go talk to my husband.
Okay.
Who is my best friend, and I did. And I'm sorry that it's just making the feelings come back. But I told my husband, I said, the doctor put me in for an award, and he asked me to check with the senior chief. He said it was time sensitive. He said he'd been, gave it to the senior chief. And the senior chief kept putting him off. But anyway, to make a long story short, I told my husband, I said, by then I had 16 years in the Coast Guard.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to break the chain. I said, I don't want to, but this is important.
Right.
And I am going to break it. And I say my whole career might be completely over because it's frowned upon when you break the chain. It's frowned upon. It could mean a page 7. It could have meant a captain mask. You know what I mean? It could mean a whole lot of things.
Right.
When you break the chain. And I told my husband, I says, I prayed about this, and I want to run it by you. But I said, I'm having an Esther dilemma, an Esther 411 dilemma. You know how they say, if Esther go before the king, if anybody go before the king and the king didn't request them, you could lose your life. I told my husband, I said, this could be the end of my career. This could really go south. I could be blackballed. This could really be horrible. But I'm going to go ahead and take my chances. I called it Esther dilemma. I said, I'm going up to the captain's house.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to knock on my captain's door.
All right.
And I say, I'm scared, but I say, I'm going by myself. And I said my prayers. And I was scared walking to the captain's house.
Yeah.
But I felt like, hey, if the doctor thought enough of me to nominate me for this award, and the senior chief blew the doctor off, he really blew me off. I said, the only person over the senior chief is the command enlisted advisor. I said, but I had a bad experience in the past with a command enlisted advisor.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going directly to the captain. I'm skipping the command enlisted advisor.
Do what you got to do.
So I went straight to the captain's house, and I knocked on his door, but I was nervous, I was trembling, I was really, really scared, because I do believe in following protocol and following orders. So when I knocked on his door, his wife answered the door, and she asked me how could she help me, and I said, I need to speak to my captain about an urgent matter. And she said he had already gone to sleep for the evening. She said, well, just tell me your story, and I'll relate it to him. I'll relay the story to him. And I said, yes, ma'am. And still to this day, I can't even remember. We talked right at the door. I don't even remember being invited into their home to sit down. I don't even remember that part. But I just remember spilling the tea right there with her in the doorway, saying I was nominated for a very important award. It's time sensitive. My senior chief is sitting on it. He was just saying, hey, so many Coasties that going up for this award, he don't even think I have a possible chance. But I'll never know if my paperwork don't get to Washington, D.C. So she said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share it with friend, as she was saying. She said, I'll share it with Tom. That is this first name was Tom. But she said, I'll share it with Tom. And someone to get back with you. And I said, yes, ma'am, and I left. And when I left her house, though, seriously, I was praying. I said, God, it is now all in your hand. Mm-hmm. I have done what we call here on earth, breaking the chain of command. And I said, this could really cost me dearly. But I had to do what I had to do. And I kept saying this is how Esther must have felt when she had to speak to the king on behalf of the Jews. I'm just saying, it was really a scary moment for me. It was a big deal for me. And
yeah, you're a rule follower. Yes, that's a big deal.
It really was a big deal. And I just thought that the doctor who put me in for the award, I was just like, wow. And just to let it fall on the senior chief's desk and leave it at that. And I really honestly don't know the backstory. But I did find out that when the captain wife spoke to him, I heard he got dressed in the middle of the night. Now, what he said to my senior chief, I don't know. But I'm telling you, that endorsement was sent from Kodiak, Alaska on my behalf. And I won the WP Ward Wilkins Service Award that year.
Dr. Morris, come on.
And my husband and I, we flew to Chicago to receive the award. I met Rosa Parks.
What?
Yes. She thanked me for my service and my contribution of promoting civil rights at my unit. I was honored to meet Rosa Parks, and I thanked her for her contribution to promoting civil rights throughout the United States. And I mean, it was a beautiful experience just to meet Rosa Parks. I mean, to win the nomination was awesome. Yeah. To meet Rosa Parks was like getting another special award. So,
oh, wow.
Lo and behold, I am grateful to this day that I did go to my captain's house.
Yeah.
And open that door.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that it didn't cost me my career because, like I told my husband, I said, this could cost everything. And he just said, look, do what you have to do. I support you either way, whether it goes south or whether it goes well. I support you. And I was grateful for his support.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm telling you, when the Coast Guard also said your husband could fly with you to receive your award in Chicago, I was just blown away. It was one of my fondest Coast Guard memories ever.
Dr. Morris, I am so happy for you. I'm so proud. Absolutely. You got to meet Rosa Parks. On top of that, you won the award. And my favorite part of this story is a mediocre senior chief somewhere probably got ripped a new one. A real new one. That's not your favorite part of the story, but that's mine.
And you know where I was stationed at the time?
Was it in
Alaska? You know, Kodiak just have that special place in my heart.
Right on. I love this for you.
Yes.
This next question kind of already just got answered. but if you have a different answer, I'm here for it. The next question is...
You're right when it says, when you walk a plane, in the command, do you feel you was heard? The answer was no. When I tried to do it the way the Coast Guard want us to do it, the answer was no. With one exception of me jumping off the chain and breaking the chain. But I tell you what.
What's up?
You know, one thing did happen leaving Kodiak, and it could have been some backlash because of what happened. Because my Twilight tour was supposed to be to Portsmouth, Virginia, right?
Right.
Leaving Kodiak to be a civil rights petty officer working out of R.O.T.C.
Nice.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what my orders said in my hand when I left Kodiak, Alaska.
Okay.
And before I could check in to Portsmouth, Virginia, I get a phone call. Your orders has been changed.
Wow.
You are going to Elizabeth City Support Center.
Oh, boy.
Back into the clinic, just like that, with no explanation.
Wow.
Now, I already went on my interview for the Civil Rights Petty Officer, passed the interview.
Yeah.
Had my orders, on the way to Portsmouth, Virginia, all excited.
Of course.
And then the phone call comes.
Wow.
So see, my senior chief could have still been trying to say, let me let you know the power of a senior chief.
Was that really him?
I don't know.
Man.
I just say, you know what? Why they changed my orders, Lord, only you know.
Right.
But I say I'm going to suck it up. And I'm going to take these orders and go to Elizabeth City,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. I'm going to suck it up. Turn my Twilight tour into the Twilight Zone. I said, but it's all right.
Dr. Morris.
Because, we can't do nothing about injustices.
Right.
All we have control over is how we respond to them.
Right.
But I was really looking forward to being a Civil Rights Petty Officer for the United States Coast Guard. I was looking forward to that job.
And I know you would have been a good one as well. Especially with your life experience, of course. But as someone who once upon a time lived in Virginia, and I'm about to lose a whole bunch of fans for this one, you didn't miss much. Oh, hold on, Master Chief Spotwood, don't cancel me. I still love you. She lives in Virginia, and she is quick to pop me one.
Okay.
She is quick to check me.
I hear you. But it was all good, though. I was really looking forward to the orders and to the duty station. And it was okay. My husband also had a cutter out of Portsmouth, so we would have been living in Portsmouth. So after I got the orders to Elizabeth City, he said, well, let's just get a place in Elizabeth City, and I'll commute to Portsmouth.
So you and your husband were Coasties?
Yes.
Were y'all both HSs?
Oh, no, he was a storekeeper.
Oh, okay. Right on.
And he said a storekeeper is the best rate for him, the best rate in the Coast Guard. I said, I hear you, Doc. I hear you.
It's okay, but there's a such thing as yeoman, so y'all are okay. Actually, after hearing that last story, I don't even know if I want to shout out to the yeoman, because somebody changed those orders, and it was definitely one of us.
I got you. But it was all good, though. No matter what someone's serving me, I always just try to make the best out of it, no matter what. Seriously.
I can tell. Dr. Morris, what I love about your time in service is that you served exactly 20 years. You did what you had to do, and you left.
Yes.
I love that you didn't waste not another second.
Now you sound like my husband. I used to say, let's both do 30 each. He was like, I don't think so. Don't even think about that.
Dr. Morris, at the beginning of your career, when you needed guidance and mentorship, were those resources provided, or did you have to seek them out?
I had to seek them out. And my mom was still my biggest mentor on active duty. She really was.
I love it.
But anything that I needed, and you'd be like, well, gee, how in the world she could be your mentor and she's not on active duty? But she was a real smart woman.
Of course.
And she really had a lot of great answers and responses to every situation that I ever ran across, bad, good, and indifferent. She really had some good, sound, practical advice.
Right on. Life experiences.
Yes.
Well, that's what's up. Why would you pay for wisdom that somebody else already bought?
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah. Dr. Morris, have you been able to make friends with other Black lady veterans? Are you purposeful about building your village? All right. I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And it was my goal. Matter of fact, my mom even gave me that goal before even leaving. And that was always very important. So that was the first thing that I'm doing. Trying to grow that village, trying to make the connections, trying to find a church, trying to find family, just to help me to stay rooted and grounded. So it's very, very important.
Right on.
And I'm just telling you, when I was stationed in Kodiak, we even formed a gospel choir. We sang in the chapel at every church in Kodiak. We recruited a Filipino musician. He wanted to be a part of it. We told him yes. Amazing, though. We had a beautiful village in Kodiak. It was amazing.
Right on. Right on. So,
Yeah.
of the Black lady veterans that you met while you were in the service, do you keep up with many of them now?
Just one. Just one.
Just one?
By me having a big family, my immediate family's big, just having the 6 children. I come
Yes.
from a family of 16 brothers and sisters.
Did you say 16?
Yes.
I'm hoping your parents like had a lot of land and that's kind of why there were so many of y'all.
They really did. They really, as a matter of
Okay.
fact, parents died out of all 16 of us. I was the one child they selected to give the most acres to.
Nice. Nice.
They're still trying to wonder, well, why you? Why you of all people? Why you?
You the doctor, that's why.
And I don't even know where this go at with your questions, though. But
We
what
having fun now, doctor.
I had thought this allotment to my parents just to help out. And
Okay.
they were saying we don't need it, but I was just like, but I still would like to be a blessing to you guys. And I said, if you don't want it, you can give it to anybody you want. I'm going to send this allotment to you because you're my parents. I love the sacrifice that you made for me, and I don't have any bills, and this is what I want to do.
Okay, that's why you got all the makers. That's why. All right.
Yeah, I do know about the allotment because my mom shared it. I didn't share it with them, but my mom shared it with them because I didn't tell anybody about it. It was just between my mom and I and my dad. And I said, look, Dad, you're saying you don't need it. Fine. Then let mama do what she want with it. But this is what I want to do. And I did it for the whole entire 20 years
Wow.
in the Coast Guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
You blessed them for 2 decades while you had 6 children and
Yeah.
mediocre chain of commands, and you were going through it, and you still found a way to be a blessing to your parents. I love you, and I love that for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Ooh, wow. Dr. Morris, tell me a war story. A story where you were tested, but you came out on top.
My war story. And at this particular duty station, my mom, she got, my mom had a heart attack, right? She didn't die immediately, but she was dying.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard for me because I really did have a bout of depression that had came upon me when she was dying.
Yeah, yeah.
And in every clinic that I've always been in, I've always looked out for my junior people. That was just my thing.
Of course, yeah.
And at this particular clinic, it was just like a lot of foolishness going on. Like our chief just loved to harass some junior petty officers just because he could. Yeah, that really did bother my spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just one Puerto Rican corpsman and an African American corpsman. He was just, and one white corpsman too. But he was just always just bothering them and just being ridiculous. And I mean, I'm just telling you the foolishness, the drama, and nobody was putting the chief in check. You hear me?
Mm.
Nobody was putting the chief in check. The chief was almost out of control, running havoc on people's lives. And the chief would always ask me, I'll treat you nice. So why would you, I just say chief.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the chief, it's your job to care about every corpsman underneath you.
Right, right.
And so that really did bother me. But the chief went on vacation for 2 weeks. The detailer called the clinic just looking for a corpsman to fill a billet in Portsmouth, right, for sea school.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we had a corpsman who met the requirements, fit the billet. I did that paperwork quick and fast because I learned in Kodiak from one of my mentors with your junior people. If you see something, recommend them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who worked very well with me in Kodiak. So I always remembered that.
Good.
I always know who was doing what, who was interested in what. So when the detailer called, I said, we have a corpsman who fit this billet. Fill that paper. I so fast. And I didn't call the chief and run it by him because he was on vacation. I was next in charge. You understand?
I heard that.
He did. He did all the detailing to try to pull it back.
No, indeed.
Yes, he did.
This chief is a hater. Ugh.
He said, Chief, when you're out, I'm next in charge. I didn't need to call you, Chief. You was on vacation. I didn't want to disturb you. I had it.
Right.
You know, he was really, really good. But I was so grateful I knew how to type up that paperwork and submit it. I was
And your corpsman got to go to sea school.
the chief. I was in charge while you was gone. That's what you train us for. And
Right.
I'm already trying to set for chief. There was no need to call you chief. Chief was hot. He was hot. The senior chief was hot. He was freaked out. I said, "This is ridiculous."
Let him be hot. Somebody got something they deserved, and he wanted to be hot-headed about it. All right, be hot. So the corpsman that went to sea school, is that a corpsman you keep up with today? Like, did y'all? No? All right.
Matter of fact, that particular corpsman took his life.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
But it's okay. When I found out he took his life, I'm telling you, I had already retired. But that was very, very painful because he was a good guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
To me, all the corpsmen are good people, honestly. And even if we see something that needs to be tweaked, it's our job as senior petty officers to work with them.
Right.
To get it to be in line. You understand? I don't think no man should be kicked off the island. You understand?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah, of course.
When he took, I don't know why he took his life, but I think he had a bout of depression. I don't know. But he was a good guy. He was a good guy. He really was.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Dr. Morris.
Thank you.
Of course. Dr. Morris, do you feel that the way you were treated improved with rank?
I'm going to say no.
Of course. I've heard you speak so far. It sounded like it was going to be a no. It didn't sound like there was much improvement.
Seriously, I had to prove myself before being accepted as a petty officer and a part of the Coast Guard family.
And that's wild because I know you a hard worker. I know you do everything by the book.
Really love the Coast Guard, and I wear Coast Guard paraphernalia. I am grateful for my Coast Guard experience. But, you know, when we say family, you understand? We should be recommended for promotions, just like our other brothers and sisters. You got me? And nobody should be holding us back.
Right.
Or throwing junk in our path to try to trip us up. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%. Yes. You deserve the same chances that anybody else gets. You're a Coastie just like anybody else. Yes.
I even have a Warren comment just told some petty officers was, I think, cleaning the baseboards in the clinic, and he says, "Get up. You don't even have to do that." And they were saying, you know, Petty Officer Myers asked me to handle this. And the Warren going to say directly in front of my face, I have to do anything she say. But in spite of all of that kind of foolishness,
wow,
the petty officer underneath me still respected me. And if I asked them to do stuff, I only ask reasonable stuff that we need to be doing. And my favorite thing is be in your spot when the clinic open up. Don't be getting no coffee. Don't be fixing uniform. I need everybody to be in their spot, ready to receive people when they walk in the door. Because if you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well.
Right.
And you want to value everybody's time. My Warren couldn't even understand how the corpsman would still respect me. And I one day I went in the Warren office. I said, "Please tell me, what is it about me that you don't like?" He said, I can't even put my hand on it."
Was this a white man?
Yes.
Of course. Of course he couldn't put his hand on it. Racism is sometimes intangible.
But, you know, it's so funny because, you know, if I was a white male, I know things would have definitely been different. And to climb that ladder of success would have definitely been easier. And, you know,
probably wouldn't have had a problem getting recommendations.
Yes, a lot of people like Colonel Colin Powell, right? and I don't have nothing against them. But Colin Powell said everybody has the same identical opportunity for advancement. When Colin Powell made that comment, it's like, Colin Powell,
He knew better, and he said it anyways.
I believe that, because no matter how hard people try to advance and no matter how hard they work, there's some folk out there still want to throw a rock, hide their hand. It's some real drama out there.
Yeah.
People want to act like it's not there, but it's there.
No, it's there, and it's specially crafted just for you. Just for you as a Black person and as a Black woman. There's a special amount of drama that's crafted just for you.
Believe me.
Yes. There's a special level of it that only we get. By the way, what rank were you in that clinic, and what rank did you retire as?
I retired as an E6, and I was an E6 at the time.
Right on, right on. All right.
But it wasn't that I wasn't trying to make E7.
I know you was trying. Hold on. Dr. Cynthia Morris, and I'm saying your whole name on purpose. If you are a doctor now by civilian standards, there's no doubt in my mind you had what it took to be a chief, a senior chief, a master chief, a lieutenant commander, whatever rank you wanted to achieve. You could have achieved it had you been given the opportunity. You're a doctor by civilian standards, and that's not a small feat. Whatever you could have achieved and wanted to achieve in the Coast Guard, you could have done it had you just been given the opportunity. The problem is you had people throttling your career. That's not your fault, but they made it your problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Don't you do that. I ain't got nan tissue I can put. This is a little bit off the question sheet, but I do have to ask. On a scale of 9 to 10, how annoying is Tyrone Anderson?
If I had money, I would have literally sponsored him through medical school. He is one of the smartest corpsmen that I've ever worked alongside with. It's very, very astute.
Dr. Morris, he's a genius, actually. He's overqualified for every position he finds himself in. But that doesn't stop. But Master Chief Anderson, that does not stop you from being an annoying person. I'm leaving all this in, Dr. Morris. I want him to know I was talking bad about him.
I love him. I do.
Master Chief, somebody loves you. Out of the two people in this conversation, it's only one of us.
I'm trying to work a 12-hour shift or 18-hour shift. Go home. Go home.
He is a hardworking gentleman.
To the rate.
No. Oh, his wife was an HS at the time?
Oh, his wife was a dentist at the moment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he was forever staying in the clinic doing something. There's always something to do. Always. He needed to go home.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said married to the... Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I know Master Chief is going to tell me about myself when he hears this one. I can't wait. Dr. Morris, has there ever been a tough situation you were in where another sister helped you out, or a situation where you were able to help out another sister?
Well, I was in a situation where I could help another sister.
Okay.
See, it had a young non-rate who worked in the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Who was trying to be like storekeeper.
Okay.
And she couldn't find nobody to help her to get the quals, signed off. And I said, hey, my husband worked on a ship out of Portsmouth. And I said, I will talk to him and I would work it out in the clinic on the days that I'm in charge. So you can go over on that ship while it's still daytime to Portsmouth and work on getting these quals done. Because he's still at work getting work done.
Yeah.
But it was just a non-rate who I took under my wing.
Dr. Morris, that's a hookup.
All of her stuff ready to strike storekeeper. And she did make it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes.
Way to go. That's a hookup and a very good looking out. Wow.
Yeah. And I always encourage all of my junior corpsmen to stay focused and get prepared for the next promotion. I said, it's nice to have fun, but you got to keep your eyes on the prize. Get ready and getting ready. Because I like our Lamato Simple Paradas, always ready.
I know that's right.
Able to go to the club, all that's nice and good, but you still want to keep Keep the service wide and focused. You know what I mean?
I know that's right.
You always heard me saying, did you take the end of course test yet? It's qual signed off.
I know it.
I'm in the schedule because sometimes it's hard to do some stuff after work. But
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, 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 yes,
The storekeeper that you helped make, do you keep in touch with her?
yes.
Really?
Really.
Yes.
Matter of fact, she moved back to Elizabeth City, and I seen her in church one day, and she just like, wow. She did stay and do 20 as well.
Nice. All right, shouts out to that storekeeper. Nice. I'm glad she got to meet the great Dr. Morris.
Thank you. I thank you for working with me. I said, thank you for just, like you say, taking some of the wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me something you wish you'd known before joining the service.
Now, this is going to be funny.
Okay.
I was told I could stay in New Orleans for my whole 20 years. I truly believed the recruiter when he said that. I believed it. My recruiter said I would only have to leave just for boot camp. And I believe it.
Recruiters have been lying since the beginning of time.
Be so naive to believe that, but I truly believed him. Because there was so many Coast Guard stations, like it was Belle Chase.
Mm-hmm.
It was the district.
Mm-hmm.
It was the small boat station. It was Support Center, New Orleans. It was news stations in New Orleans area.
Yes, indeed.
He said he could do my whole 20. And I truly believed it from the bottom of my heart.
You didn't have a reason to think he was lying. You were young and yeah, you didn't know about military protocol and military life. Like, how did you know not to believe him? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't join the service to leave home or to see the world. I was a homebody. So I'd already had my mind set for that. I said, you just have to go to Cape May, New Jersey, do boot camp, and after that, you never have to leave New Orleans. And I believed it.
Oh.
When it was time for me to leave to go to my first duty station, I cried. The flight attendant said, what's wrong? I said, I'm in the service and I got to leave home.
Oh. Where was your first duty station?
Yorktown, Virginia.
I would cry too. I'm about to drop a tear for you right now.
That's the real honest truth.
I do believe it. I do believe it. That's a hard lesson learned. Oh, wow. That leads into the next question. Tell me about a time you learned a lesson you weren't ready to learn.
Life is not fair.
All right.
How hard you work,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and no matter what you put in, outcome may not be what you contributed or expected. That was a very hard lesson for me because, like I shared with you earlier, I've always worked hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No matter what my job was, no matter what they asked me to do, I was always a hard worker.
I believe it. I believe it.
So, whew, and we only can control how we respond to injustices. But I'm just telling you, my injustice was I took all of my end of course tests of the E7. I took them all.
Wow.
I took them all when I was a seaman. I took
Wow.
took them all. You hear me?
Wow.
All you need to do is just set for my service wide and get my recommendations as needed for advancements, right?
Wow. And it should have been that easy. It should have been.
You, when I was a second class, ready to make first class shared with me. He would not recommend me. He's going to talk to the chief in a warrant. He going to make sure they don't sign off on me taking that service wide.
Jeez.
And my chief and my warrant, they concurred with the first class. I could not believe that. I said, this is crazy. Now, I work in my can off. You hear me?
Yes, of course. Yes.
And all I need is a recommendation. She is qualified to take the service. And I couldn't get it.
Wow.
You know, if I would have stopped being a hard worker, that would have worked against me too.
Right.
Real justification to say she's lazy, she's not doing what we asked her to do, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
And then the other little motto, don't give nobody a reason
Right.
to criticize you or your work. So I'm working with a purpose in mind.
Right. You're going to do what you're supposed to do even when nobody else is doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're always going to do your part when nobody else is doing theirs.
Can I just give you another example? Even when I was a seaman, right? Now, you know, I only joined the service to be a corpsman, right?
Right.
So now I'm a mess cook. But I got to still make the best of a situation, right?
Right.
In the old club in Yorktown. You know, my uniform be pressed. I'd be standing at parade rest, trying to anticipate what the officer gonna need. And I'm having fun as a mess cook because I just know this is temporary, waiting for corpsman school, right?
Right.
Then the senior chief gonna holler, you should go to cook school. I said, I'm not interested in going to cook school.
Right.
He said, but you are working so well as a mess cook. You're just doing an excellent job in here because I'm trying to make the best of a situation. This is my job. And I'm really trying to do the best I can, but I'm not interested in being a cook.
Right.
You say, well, I'm going to call the details.
What the? Why are so many people against you?
Please don't do that.
Jeez.
And he was over here saying I would make a good cook. Now my senior chief about to get me ready to break up every dish in the galley. Because now you tripping. Now you finna mess with my career. And I'm interested in this. And he was over here saying, but you look the natural.
They really want to keep a black woman in the kitchen.
He was a Filipino. I see you really don't want to be a cook. I said, I tried to tell you that. I said, now I'm coming to work and I'm not smiling now because I done got upset.
Right, with good reason. Yes.
I thought they were all wonderful. I like being a mess cook. I like waiting on the table, serving the people. But that was just a short season of my life.
Right. You're just making the best of what you have right now. You don't want that forever. You're just making the best of it for what it is. You just have too positive of an attitude. You should have been the angry black woman that we all get accused of being anyways. Do you feel that you are a better leader than the ones you grew up under?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we both agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, you are. Yes.
Everybody brings something valuable. And if you put it all together, it really makes the team a greater team. Each person brings something valuable to the team.
That's right.
And I've worked for so many people who want to pick and choose which corpsman they're going to work with, which corpsman they want to advance, and which corpsman they just wish get out the raid or mess up so they could send them home early. And that's horrible.
Plotting on somebody's downfall. Yeah, that's terrible.
Exactly.
And you, on the other hand, are helping your non-rates become storekeepers in not even their spare time in what's supposed to be their, what's it called, HS time or their clinic time. You're helping a seaman become a storekeeper in their clinic time. You're going out of your way to help people. You're a better leader.
And I just hate when people write people off. Like I had an officer ask a person one time, how did you get in my Coast Guard? I say, sir, when did this become your Coast Guard?
Right.
And since the person is in uniform, it's our Coast Guard.
Right. Some people have so much entitlement.
Yes.
This was a white man, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. Are there any sisters in the service that inspire you? Past or present, does not matter the branch.
Yes.
Come on.
Now, I met SK3 Maggie Cobb.
Okay.
I think it's Cobb, Maggie Cobb. But she was the first African-American female in the Coast Guard uniform that I met at the 8th Coast Guard District in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I love talking to her about her experience because, I was 16 at the time. But she was like a superhero to me because she had that uniform on, real deal recruiter. Would come to work, ask her questions, and she would always be just so polite, just really, really kind. She was the first person that I remember meeting who was in uniform.
I hope she's somewhere living her best life because she had a really big and good impact on you.
Yes. So did you do an interview with Maggie?
No, I said I just hope that she's somewhere living her best life. I've never met her.
I'm gonna look for Maggie so Maggie could do her interview.
Thank you. You had another friend though, right? A friend named Sheila?
She was so amazing. And we really truly wound up becoming roommates. And it's funny when you was asking me about Desert Storm and Desert Shield.
Yes.
Did participate natural in warfare.
Oh wow.
And so when you asked me about that, she really just popped right into my mind. But she was truly an amazing person.
You still
And
keep up with Sheila, don't you?
as a matter of fact, we really kept up pretty good for a good little while. We really, really did.
Right. Oh, she's part of your village. I love it.
Yes, and she even went to Norfolk State in Virginia too. She was telling me about when she got out of the service. She went to Norfolk State, and that's how she planted the seed of Norfolk State. About Norfolk until Sheila went to Norfolk first. I met Dr. Shelley Grant when I was on Governor's Island.
Okay.
The Shelley Grant, she said, "You are an excellent corpsman." And she used to always say, "You should get out of the Coast Guard. You should go back to school."
Yeah.
And she gave me my first Merck manual. That's the manual with all the diagnoses and diseases and treatments. And she had a beautiful dedication in it that I still have to this day. And that was in 1985 that she gave me that book. And I still have that book to this very day. And every now and then I would read my little dedication from Dr. Grant. And she kept saying, "I think you could do it. I think you should get out and go back to college." And then I told her, I said, "I don't know, Doc. I have children now. I don't know." And she was truly Maggie Todd, Sheila Stokely, and Shelley Grant. They were very instrumental and just helping me to follow my dream.
I love it. Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. I love these are also mentors. These are mentors. These are friends. These are village. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right on. Dr. Morris, let's say you were just starting your life on your own and you were presented with the chance to join the service for the first time. Knowing what you know now, would you still join?
I would.
Okay.
Because it helped me to work out some things about racism that I was struggling to understand. And being in the Coast Guard has blessed me to meet people from all walks of life. And I've learned to value and appreciate and love them.
All right. Right
So
on.
I would definitely say yes.
So not only would you join the military, you would still join the Coast Guard and not any other branch?
Right. It would still be the Coast Guard.
Wow. All right. Right. Oh, I'm 100% sure I know the answer to this next one. But if you have a daughter or any young impressionable black girl in your life that you cared about and she was considering a life in the military, would you try talking her out of it?
What you think I said?
You did not talk that lady out of joining nothing because she was in the Air Force. In fact, all you kids was in R.O.T.C. Yeah, you ain't talk them out of nothing.
If they were still immature, I would talk them out of it. Don't do it.
Okay.
And then I highly recommend them to do it. Were mature, knew what they stood for. Then I would highly recommend it.
Good, because the military is not a service for the immature.
Definitely.
A lot of immature people do join, but
Yes. And then I would tell them the service is a great place to grow and to blossom.
All right.
But you still have to go in being mature. Yes.
Now, Dr. Morris, recruitment and retention is down across all the branches and with all demographics. Black women are not excluded from that. This was true even before the pandemic. Why do you think black women are so disinterested in joining the military?
Now, of course, this is my opinion. People all the time asking me, should my daughter go? Should she not? I get that question a lot. The question is the military a safe space or a place for black women? And then it could be, but there are multiple challenges to navigate the safe space, really. Because it's a job with a binding contract. There are rules and regulations for protection. However, with all these rules and regulations, sometimes there is no protection.
Right.
None.
Right.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And so when parents ask me about that, I would say, coming straight out of high school, the answer is absolutely not. Because it's a male-dominated service.
Still, yes.
Still. And if the young lady has not had any life experiences, she should wait 2 to 3 years out of high school to know herself, her limitations, what she stands for, and her freedoms.
Right.
My girls wanted to go out of high school. I was like, absolutely not. I say Even to go on some college campuses, that's dangerous for a lot of naive girls coming straight from high school.
Right.
Not a lot of life experience.
Correct.
Because on college campuses, and I know this is a military interview.
No, go for it.
You know, a lot of college kids take their lives. They fall into the wrong crowd. And when I first came in, and it's something I really kind of didn't share, but we had a lot of senior petty officers and officers trying to date enlisted women and using gifts as the bait. You understand?
Not even just gifts, just threats. They would probably use threats as a form of coercion. If you don't give me what I want, you won't advance to the next level. You won't get your orders. You won't go to school. You won't go to C school. It wasn't just gifts. It was also threats.
And it was happening.
Yeah.
In the 70s, when I came in the late 70s, it was happening. You understand?
Yeah, it was normal and normalized. And if you complained about it, the blame would fall on you. What were you wearing? What were you saying? What did you do? Why did you lead him on, even though you actually were just sitting there being quiet, trying to do your job in peace? Yeah.
The corpsman, we stayed duty overnight. And one time it was myself and a white guy standing duty. And he came out the bathroom butt naked, no clothes on.
Jesus, gross, man. You saw a raw chicken leg at work? I'm disgusted.
And then I'm just telling the Lord, pray quickly, protect me, watch over me. And if I get up and go home, I could get written up that I left my duty.
Written up? I'm praying for a chair. Lord, let me find a stapler.
I'm going to see how the clinic going to deal with this.
I already know where this is going.
You know what the chief on the warrant, they talked to me. You know what they said to me? That particular corpsman had just come off a sea duty. And he's not used to working in close contact with a female.
He's not used to wearing clothes? Get out of here.
And they're going to tell me he didn't mean nothing by it. I said, this not right. But that was the answer from the senior people in the clinic when I reported that he walked out of that shower right where I was sitting at, in the lobby, in the TV room.
In a place where clothes are required and normal. He went out of his way to flash his little chicken leg in the clinic because he thought and knew he could get away with it. Gross.
I said, oh Lord, what if he would have raped me? What in the world would their response would have been then? You understand? But I just said, oh my, Father God, keep me near the cross, because this is crazy.
Wow.
He knew he was standing with me.
Of course.
But that's how the clinic responded. And I was just like, you know what?
And the clinic is supposed to be a safe space for other people to report things of that nature too. You're supposed to be a place. Yeah, you're supposed to be a place where you can go to report sexual assault, sexual harassment. If somebody in your chain of command is being inappropriate with you, you're supposed to be able to go to a corpsman. But when the corpsmen are acting like that, where is your safe space?
Thank you. So that's why when people ask me, should my daughters go? I say not right out of high school. Just like I told my girls, I said, nope, not right out of high school. I'm not saying no because I've been in the service. I'm saying go get you a few years of college under your belt. Go do a little something.
Right.
Then you can go. If you still want to go, then go then.
Right. Get some life experience under your belt so you know not to take anything from anyone. You know how people are supposed to be treating you. You know how you're supposed to treat people. You know what to expect out of normal social situations, and you know what's not normal in a social situation. Straight out of high school, you don't know that. Okay, before I ask this next question, I was coached a little by Master Chief Anderson. So I said he was annoying like a few minutes ago. I stand by that statement, but he did.
Annoying. To be honest with you, I just thought that he was like you say, super advanced for his years. Seriously,
Dr. Morris, you don't have to keep saying nice things about him. I'm gonna edit some of this out now. We ain't gonna just sit here and talk nice about this man the whole time. He is a genius. He finds his way in life, and he's great at anything he attempts to be even good at. So
that's true.
Yes, but what he coached me, he did tell me that you were a pregnant flight corpsman?
Yes, we was
flight paramedic. No, what's the actual term that I'm looking for? I'm sorry.
you know how the Coast Guard now have a whole rate now for the survival. No, wait a minute. Hold on. For the, you know how we used to jump out those helicopters? We would all go to flight school,
Flight
a
medic.
piece of the flight school training.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? Rescue swimmers.
Yes. Yes.
We were rescue swimmers, but I was excited about doing it and going on search and rescue. And I love search and rescue. And I've gone on some amazing search and rescue calls and have a lot of search and rescue awards. But when I became pregnant, though, I was ready to leave that part of the Coast Guard alone for the people like me. Do a search and rescue because doing search and rescue, I love that part of the Coast Guard too. For whatever reason, I always want to remind me if the waters got choppy, something really, if the helicopter, if they got to make a decision, they're going to cut the wire, drop the corpsman off, come back and get me after the storm blow over. So it was one of them kind of jobs that you don't mind dying.
What? Excuse me?
If I'm at sea, and you cut that wire on me, you just let the cord go because you have to save the helicopter and you're going to come back and look for me. And I guarantee you're going to find me. You come back to look for me. I would be excited doing it. I did it. I was at Air Station Bell Chase. That was my job. I was going to come back to Bell Chase. And then I was a part of Elizabeth City Air Station as a rescue swimmer.
Okay.
So I had it for 2 units.
Dr. Morris, you were a rescue swimmer?
When I became a mother, I was through with it because, hey, I didn't mind dying when it's just myself and my husband. You understand?
No, I don't understand not mind dying, but go ahead.
You might not come back. No, because I used to always tell my children that we could always be called up to do something, and we may or may not come back. And I want you guys to know that. And I used to teach, and I taught all my kids how to cook and clean. Because I said, if something happened to me and you know how to cook and clean, people going to be in line saying, I take you. You lazy, you're not going to be in line for you, and you may have to go to the foster care program.
What?
I didn't know about death. I really did.
Okay.
I really, really did.
And
I wasn't trying to be rude or ugly. I just was trying to tell them about life.
Right.
Said, look. This job we have, and by the grace of God, I never had to get sea duty because my husband would take it, and 2 parents don't never have to go to sea in the Coast Guard. Now, the Navy takes 2 parents out to sea, but the Coast Guard don't. If one go, the other one definitely do not have to go.
Right on.
So I was happy about that. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yes, but that was a part of my training, and I loved it.
How did you breeze right over that, Dr. Morris? You had a career as a rescue swimmer?
Yes.
I am taken aback. Like, that's a very aggressive form of swimming. So you're a very good swimmer, is what you're saying.
But you know something too? I tell you about another injustice, and I know we got to.
Nope. Take your time. Come on.
When the Coast Guard had a budget cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
The corpsman rate and the dental tech rate had to be merged together.
Wait, the Coast Guard used to have a budget?
Initially.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, everybody had to be cross-trained. All dental techs had to go to corpsman school, and all corpsmen had to go to dental tech school so we could all become HSs, right?
Right.
So when my turn came, I had a baby at the time. I just had a baby. And they said, you have to take these orders. You have to take them now. And if you don't take them, you have to get out of the Coast Guard.
Mm.
Now, I asked the detail. Only thing I asked, could I just be in the last group of corpsmen to go to dental tech school, right?
Right.
And he claimed, okay, this is the last group. But come to find out, he was lying.
Of course.
He was lying, but I didn't know he was lying. So when I went to dental tech school, because my choices was you either take these orders or we could process you to get out of the Coast Guard.
Wow.
And this was in 1980. This was in 1982. No, this was 83. But anyway, long story short, I went on and took the orders.
Of course.
And I went to the dental tech school. But when I came home, I think my baby was 6 weeks when I had to leave. 6 or 8 weeks. She was 8 weeks old.
Wow.
When I came back, her hair texture changed, her skin color had to change. She and me, I know her.
Aww.
See, if this was a bad choice, if I should have just went on and got out. But and then when I started meeting other people who wasn't cross-trained, I was just really furious.
Right.
because he was acting like this was the last group to be cross-trained, and it was so far from the truth. And I was like, that's cold-blooded.
And you just spent some precious time away from your newborn.
Yes, yes.
That's bonding time. You really need that time.
Right. But I just like, you know what? This ain't right. This ain't right. It was another one of my Coast Guard injustices.
It
I was like, Lord, I know you're going to work it out. I know you're going to work it out.
So the baby that you came back to, are y'all friends now?
We are.
Okay. Shouts out to that baby. Hope you're doing well. Sounds like you're a millennial, so I like you already.
It was tough, though.
I know it. I'm so sorry you went through that.
It's all right, though.
All right. Oh, Dr. Morris, if you were conducting this interview from where I'm sitting, what question would you have asked you that I did not ask you?
What have you been doing since you left the service?
Oh, come on, Dr. Morris. All right.
That would be the question.
Dr. Morris, now that we on the subject.
What I've been doing since I left the service.
All right.
I said, you know what? Let me go get my master's. So I went to Norfolk State. I'm still forever trying to make myself marketable and trying to secure my work life.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
you know, out in the field, we had a guy who was in charge of all the social workers. Now, he had a bachelor's in something. It wasn't in social work, but he always be trying to tell you how to do your job. So I say, you know what? That's another job where you really, really work hard and you really don't. How could I say this?
That's people skills. Social work?
That you work, but you still, I don't know. Some people seem to be appreciative and some are not. So I say, you know what? Go ahead and get my doctorate. Go ahead. I say, you know, I'm still trying to find my niche. When I say my niche, seriously, because you know, they say you got to find something that you truly. I love being a therapist. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I think it is the best job in the world for me. Because I even love what you do. And when I first met you, I said, this is really great. I said, I would love to do this interview with you. I said, I am so glad the service you found something that you really enjoy and something that is important.
Thank you.
Because the young people, I'm really proud. When I look at the Coast Guard now and I see so many Black female officers, African American, I'm telling you, I'm excited. I remember when I first came in, like I would be the only Black in the clinic, female Black. So the last 2 duty stations was the most Black corpsmen, more than one. It was pretty cool. My last 2 stations, matter of fact, the last duty station, gosh, we might have had 6 Black people in there.
What?
Times have really changed because I can remember for years where it honestly was the only Black female in the clinic, and sometimes it'd be another Black male, and sometimes it'd be just myself.
Right, right.
It was so odd because you just didn't see a lot of us in the rate. I don't know why, but it's plenty now. It's plenty of Black female officers. I'm super excited about that. There's just a lot of Black officers and females, so I'm excited about that. But I tell you, my new venture.
Yes.
Because right now I'm taking a little break. You know, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I still have all my credentials.
Right on.
But there's something with me. He said, you know, right now they're looking for minority veterans, especially female veterans.
Okay.
In the electrical business. So now I'm currently starting a business, small business called Veterans Electric. That I'm working with my brother in his electric company to learn the trade. You got me?
You're about to be an electrician?
Yes. I was starting this new chapter of my life as an electrician.
Oh my God.
I need to enjoy my 2 favorite hobbies, reading and traveling.
I love it.
I'm busy seeing the world right now. And I'm telling you, and it's on my term. And I've been retired over 26 years from the Coast Guard.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm telling you, what has been really, truly my strength, it has truly been God. Because I could not have done my job or stayed as long as I stayed if it was not from God being on my side.
You are covered.
I'm covered. And people be wondering, how I'm getting through whatever I'm dealing with. And it's because I trusted and depended on God throughout my entire career. Because I worked at the MEPS one time when I was out of the MEPS was an interesting experience for me. Another senior chief at the MEPS, he said, first too, what the you got to smile about with 6 children. I got
Lord.
6 and I could barely stand it. I say, senior chief, I don't know about your 6, but children are a blessing from the Lord.
Come on.
And I thank God for every one of my children.
Right on.
And that used to bother the senior chief because he said you always smiling. But I feel like my kids was just loaned to me for a season in my life. And you know, my mom had 15 kids. You know, you get ribbed at school because your family's so big. But the ribbon never
No, Dr. Morris, I don't know.
We don't have a TV.
Wow.
I've been ribbed all my life that we came from a big family. And one of my daughters has 6 kids her own self.
Right on.
She say, Ma, every time I tell you I'm pregnant, you're so excited for me. But that's not everybody's take when I tell them I'm pregnant. I said, don't worry about them folks. Hey, it's okay. And people say, is this your last one? I say, hey, don't worry about that.
Right.
It's the baby girl. She's 38 years old. But I just told her, I said, girl, have as many children as you want. Have as many as you would like.
Right on.
And her little husband told her she could come out the corporate work world and she don't have to work. And she homeschooled. And I said, girl, go ahead. School your children. Have some fun.
Right on. Right on.
I don't have no regrets.
Good. No regrets. And also, you've just been a very busy lady. You are a therapist and about to turn electrician.
Yes.
Dr. Morris, do you ever sit still? Do you know what rest is? When I say Dr. Morris is busy, it took me 6 months to get this interview to happen because Dr. Morris was in and out of cruises all the time. She was having the time of her life, just cruising the world, having vacations here, taking little trips there. I can't even be mad at it, you know? Like, if you are living your best life, and I honestly, I love it for you.
Thank you.
What's an electrician's title? Should I be calling you Dr. Electrician Morris?
I will keep you posted. Will keep you posted.
Dr. Buzz Lightyear.
They would love Dr. Buzz Lightyear. Just go with that. I love it. Well, thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the very last question is there anything you would like to leave our audience with?
To know that the Lord honestly will truly be a keeper. Honestly. And some people do try to intimidate, like we talked about earlier. Some people use their authority and their power to intimidate people. But you know, I would always recite Psalms 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Because some people do the intimidation thing like it's a joke, like it's funny, like it's a game. And they, you know, we never know where people are from. We don't know what their life experiences has been like. And to throw your authority around inappropriately, it could really hurt some people. And so my thing is, I really, really think that if people could value, my first thing, just value yourself. Just learn to accept yourself. Just the way you are, because seriously, in all of my sessions, that is so important to me to convey that message of self-acceptance. Because all of our life experiences has been different. They're alike but different. And you know, like how you and I both are shipmates, but our experience, they're similar but different.
Absolutely.
And you know, sometimes when people are trying to find their way and they join the service, and then, like you say, to run across a butthole, and I hate to say it, and I know that don't sound respectful.
Dr. Morris, I've said so many worse things on a hot mic and then aired them. So you saying butthole is like the nicest thing. That is the nicest thing that's been said.
And even with the Chief Corps thing, like some days I really wanted to be a E7. It is very important to me. And I say, God, I don't ever want to use my E7 powers to ever play the game or hurt somebody or just go along with the game. Because, I just saw a lot of that. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Right.
And I just say, Lord, as bad as I want it, if it's not going to pan out the way it ought to pan out, where you will get the glory, if it passed me by, I can live with it. It's okay. Because I'm not about to be playing mind games with somebody just for the sake of playing a mind game with a person. And even like that one corpsman who took his life, and I honestly don't know what was going on with that particular corpsman. But, even in Kodiak, as much as I love Kodiak, we've had two people to take their life in Kodiak, two people who I knew personally. And both of those were over bad marriages. They were both guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they both had a breakup with their wives, and they both shot themselves in the head. And it was really, really bad. And one of them truly was a close friend of mine, and one was my husband's chief. And it's hard when you get yourself between a rock and a hard place. It's a hard place to be.
Right.
And even my one friend, wow. And my chief kept on saying, "Why are you taking it so hard?" But like, it's my friend.
Yeah, that's a human. That's a human being.
It's a human.
Yeah.
And, you be thinking like it could have been avoided. We could always say that. Oh, suicide is very, very, very sad. And when you ask that question about a village, and I encourage everybody, males and females, get your village. You need a village.
That's right.
And when stuff is going sideways in the Coast Guard, before you take it in your own hands and try to sort it out, find somebody you could talk to.
Right.
Because another time, one of a Coastie mom died, and the chief messing with it. No, you can't go home for the funeral.
For somebody's mother?
Forget about the chain of command, because, when the chief said no, sometimes, again, being young, being naive, chief say no. Some of us think it stops right there with the chief.
For your mother's funeral?
For your mother's funeral. The chief messing with it. Then he goes AWOL. Then when he come back from the funeral, now they want to write him up for discharge out of the service instead of getting on the chief for even messing with his mind. You got me?
Right.
But see how the chief didn't get in trouble? I mean, the chief gonna get his eventually, because I really believe, what you do ugly and you get away with it.
The person that went home for their mother's funeral, was that an African American person?
Yes.
Of course. And the chief, this was a white man.
He's a white guy.
Of course. Okay.
It's so painful for me, because you don't play with people like that.
Right.
That was horrible. And then when I closed my eyes, I just closed my eyes just in the response. And then my finger just touched the phone, because I remember that like that was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, that happened in 78. And I can remember that like that was yesterday. You just, when you get the news your mom has died, that is devastating in itself.
Right.
And then for somebody to tell you you can't go home. And then that had reminded me of my own dad. And then I'm going to let you get off this phone, because I'm telling you, when my dad had a heart attack,
mm-hmm.
I told my chief, I need to go to the hospital. My chief said, you got all these brothers and sisters at the hospital. You don't need to go.
Wow.
I said, Chief, you can write me up if you want. I'm going. I only have one dad, and I'm going. I'm telling you, my dad died that same night, but I am so glad.
Wow.
That I left. That ain't breaking the chain of command, because I ain't had to go over his head to ask for the leave.
Right.
You do what you have to do. I'm going to do what I have to do. I just got a phone call that my dad is in the hospital. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Right.
And that's the time when you really hate when people know about your business.
Right. Yeah.
Say you have 15 brothers and sisters.
The nerve, the audacity.
What? You going to the hospital?
Because it's your father too. That's why.
Exactly. And again, he was a white chief, but I'm going like, Chief, I'm out. I'm gone.
Black pain means nothing to white people.
And I'm just telling you, if my dad would have died and I didn't see my dad that day and I stayed at work or got tired or got caught up in something else, can you imagine what I would have felt like?
The resentment you would have felt towards that chief. Whatever you feel about him now, it would have been worse because you would have listened to him. And that's something you didn't have to do.
Exactly. And that's the part that I was sharing earlier. If a person is really young, if I was young and naive and my boss saying, no, you can't go, I might have would have felt obligated to stay.
Right.
You got me?
Yes.
And then, say, for instance, if I was saying, okay, I'm going to go immediately after work. And then when I get to the hospital, my dad is dead. And then not that we advocating for people to ever break the chain of command. You know, we're not advocating that.
I'm advocating for people to do what they have to do. It's a rough, racist world out there, and as long as you're being faced with roughness and racism, you're going to have to do what you have to do. So I'm advocating for doing what you got to do.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I am so grateful.
I'm grateful that you went to.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went.
But thank you for this interview. Thank you for asking the questions that you asked. I think all your questions were great questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morris. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your courage. You have been a light. You have been an inspiration, and you've been a joy. And I'm just grateful that you decided to take a piece of your day and spend it with me. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Morris.
And I'm honored to do the interview with you.
The feeling is mutual. It was an honor for me as well. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Bye now. And that concludes this episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And a special thank you to Dr. Cynthia Morris for sharing her story and taking the time to make this interview possible. Now, if you are or know a Black lady veteran who would like to sit down with me and be a part of the show, please email me at seasonedvetpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can call or text message me at 713-254-0970. You can also find, follow, and inbox me, The Seasoned Vet, across all platforms of social media. At Real Seasoned Vet on Twitter, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on Instagram, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on TikTok, at Seasoned Vet on YouTube, Seasoned Vet on Facebook. Y'all, I'm so out there, I'm even on Spoutable. That's at The Seasoned Vet on Spoutable. All episodes of this show are available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, and anywhere you get your podcast. Now, if you like what you heard, please like it, share it, rate it, and leave a good review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And if you're hearing this episode on the day that it drops, then you're listening to it on June 10th, 2024. Today marks several birthdays and death days in Black history. Birthdays include Oscar winner Hattie McDaniel in 1898, musician Helen Wolf in 1910, singer Faith Evans in 1973, and first daughter Sasha Obama in 2001. Deaths include activist Marcus Garvey in 1940, heavyweight champion Jack Johnson in 1946, and musician Ray Charles in 2004. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, fall out.